You want to use Placidus to read your birth chart, you have to know how to read the Placidus house system. It is not simple like whole sign. That's why I teach whole sign to my beginners and my Become an Astrology course, and recommend it for beginners. If you're just starting out with astrology, it makes everything simpler so you can more easily understand what it all means and get messages and interpretation. Because the way I teach astrology is helping you to hear and listen to your intuition, because that's really all that it is. When you read your chart, it's such an intuitive practice. It's a divination tool. But if you're using Placidus, you have to know the language of the Placidus house system, because it is different than whole sign and it is not simple. It's complex, and this is where we get more into the analytical mind versus using our intuition to understand things in our chart. That's why I teach whole sign in my Become an Astrologer course, my beginner course, and I teach Placidus in my intermediate level 2 astrology course. As an example, if you're looking at transits in your Placidus chart, you have to look at the degrees of where they're going to be. That will tell you which house they're going to be in. So right now, Mars is technically in my 3rd house because it is 8 degrees of Sagittarius, and my 3rd house begins in Placidus at 7 degrees of Sagittarius, versus Mercury retrograde is back in my 2nd house because my 3rd house doesn't begin, my 2nd house doesn't end until this degrees and minutes of Sagittarius. So anytime you want to know where a transit is in your chart and you're using Placidus, you have to know what degrees that transit is at to narrow down which area, which house it's in. Does that make sense?